In the old days, before computers and computer games, if you wanted to make an airplane, you had to actually use a piece of pencil and a paper and draw what you wanted your airplane to look like, and then you had to give the drawing to people to build it. Then once it was built, you had to find some guy foolish enough to get in it and fly it to see if it flew or not. So they took the engine off the front, put a window in there, and they put the engines on the sides. And somebody said, well, it's got to pass a bunch of tests. We can't just put a bunch of people in there and fly it around. It's all made out of metal. It might break. Like if you're flying along and you come into an updraft and the front of the airplane goes into the updraft and the back end isn't in the updraft. The body has to be strong enough to not crack in half and spill all the people out. And they said, all you got to do is fill up the sandbags, put them on your shoulder, climb up the ladder, take them inside, and set them down in the seats. And all these guys said, yeah. So they fill their sandbag, go up this ladder, put them in the seats, and go out that ladder. And they kept going in and out and in and out and in and out. And the plane was starting to bend, and the guy down here says, well, it's bending. It's not broken yet, but it's making all kinds of creaking noises. I don't want to be under here anymore, so he left. Well, if you put too much stress on it, rivets break and they shoot off like little bullets. Pew! And these things were starting to shoot off. Well, today we're going to be breaking stuff. We're going to be crushing things just to see how strong it is. Now, even Mr. Fred said, I would really like this castle to be taller. It's 1 story tall now, maybe 1 and a little. I want it to be 100 stories tall. And the minion said, no! And even Mr. Fred said, oh, you guys couldn't do it right. Anyway, I got to get some quality slaves. Now the slaves, every day, had to get up, I won't use that pen, and draw, up here, more columns. They had to create more and more floors. And they weren't allowed to leave until they had this thing 100 stories tall. If you're Jack and Jill, and you don't want to be enslaved with evil Mr. Fred until you finish 100 floors of this thing, what would you do? The objective is to use the paper to hold the books off of the floor. But it has to hold it off the floor by at least the width of one of your fingers. Now, if I took this paper and I folded it, for instance,
it wouldn't be that much. That'd be the width of my fingernail. That'd be my fingernail. But that'd be about as thick as my fingernail.
Will that hold a book?
Oh, no.
Are you sure?
Yes.
Okay, you're right. Doesn't hold it. So this paper got crinkled. We'll set that aside. What if I fold it? Oh, look at there. All right. Here's one folded in fourths. Will that hold it up off the floor? No? Maybe. No, maybe? Put a book on that. Oh, so sad. Doesn't hold it. Well, to make it a little bit easier for you, we have some shapes over here. Wrap a piece of paper around this tube, for instance, and put some tape on it, slide the tube out, and see if that would hold a book.